It's the Garage Guys Report, Motorsports News for you.
1, 2, 3, 4. Garage Guys Report. Garage Guys Report. It's the Garage Guys Report. Motorsports News for you. It's the Garage Guys Report. It's the Garage Guys Report. Yeah. It's the Garage Guys Report. Yeah. It's Motorsports News for you. Yeah. It's the Garage Guys Report. It's the Garage Guys Report. Oh yeah. It's the Garage Guys Report. It's Motorsports News.
Welcome to episode 17 of the Garage Guys Report, Motorsports News for you. I'm your host, Chase Holden, and we about to get into the news. We about to get into what's happening inside of the world of motorsports, mainly NASCAR this weekend. A lot went down in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, Truck Series, and Cup Series at Bristol for the Bass Pro Shops night race. So we're going to talk about a little bit of stuff circulating around there. Of course, digging into a little bit of news and random finds on the internet. And of course, the highlight of the show, race fan voicemails. We got a good bit of them this week. We're going to dive into those, and we're going to do things a little bit differently this week. We're going to start with voicemails. We're going to kind of cut into it. We're going to see how this plays out. I figured it's time to get some experimental action going. So we'll do that, and then maybe an investigative report towards the end of this show. So make sure you stay tuned. Listen through all of the Garage Guys Hotline voicemails. Garage Guys Report Hotline, race fan voicemails, race fan hotline, fan race hotline, whatever you want to call it. We'll figure it out. You know the number to call, and I'll remind you here soon. As always, we're going to roll in now to the winners of this past week in motorsport. Take it away.
Dun, 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 bum, 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 bum,
Let's hear it for those winners of this past weekend in motorsports, mainly at Bristol. It's a NASCAR report episode. This is not a motorsport report this week. It's a NASCAR report. Let's be honest. Just being real. That's why we are going to go ahead now and dive in to the Garage Guys Report hotline. We've got 12 voicemails this week to dip into, some new callers, some callers that you've heard of before. And you could be one of those callers if you're watching this right now and you haven't called in yet. Maybe you forgot to call this week. That's fine. All you got to do, 919-769-4477. That's the number. After the races are over, you call in, you leave your voicemail, leave me your thoughts, your opinions, ask questions. I don't care. Just be a part of the show, baby. That's it. Be a part of the show. All right? So I figured that this weekend, the reason I'm not jumping straight to news is because a lot of the news that did drop, it was kind of a weird weekend, right? We had the Saturday race, and then Sunday, a lot of people are watching NFL football now. And then Monday, of course, NFL, Monday Night Football. Shout out to them Saints. Yo, yo. Who dat, baby? I am from Louisiana, in case you didn't know. If you're watching this, you didn't know I was from Louisiana. Now you know. I found that out this past weekend. But, yeah, I wanted to try it out a little bit differently, you know. And I think that it's important to just note a couple of things that did happen really fast before we get into the calls. So, obviously, we all saw Zane Smith. He's going to Trackhouse. They acquired a charter through Spire, which was acquired from BJ McLeod and Live Fast Motorsports. Everybody and their mama saw that one. That was the big news of Saturday. They had a press conference around 5, I believe, and then that news dropped. Dale Earnhardt Jr. ran the Xfinity race in the Hellman's car. That was a big story. Also, we had me. I broke news. I broke news, y'all. Told y'all I'm a reporter. And it was not troll. It was not troll news. Chicago. I've been told by some sources that Chicago is coming back. The Chicago Street Course will be back next year. Won't be back for 2025, but NASCAR being 100% committed to bringing Chicagoland Speedway back in 2025. And for everybody out there that's asking me what my sources are and all this other stuff, save it. Because I ain't got to tell you shit. You either believe me or you don't, and I don't care. When the news comes out, you can thank me. Remember that. So, let's go ahead now and get into the voicemails. We're going to start it off like we normally do each week with Mr. August, a.k.a. Titty Man. His name is Spurs Ted Lasso, calling from the beautiful TriStar, and he will start us off on the Garage Guys Report hotline this week. Let's get to it. Here is Spurs Ted Lasso, hotline caller of the month for August.
This is Spurs Ted Lasso, calling from the beautiful TriStar as always. You know, this week I only got one thing to say, only one thing to talk about, and that is Redneck Jesus, Dale Earnhardt Jr., my man, my hero, lifelong hero, man. I remember watching 2004 fall weekend. Junior won both them damn races, Busch race and the Cup race. That was crazy back when it was the old Sharpie 500, red 8 car. Friday night, man, I had to take over TV. I was at a big event. Fuck their shindig. I didn't care. Took over every TV in there, put on the race, man. I was doing arm windmills. Junior wasn't just leading. Junior was fucking kicking ass. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the year of our Lord, 2023, was out there just laying pipe, man. That 88 Mayo rocket was ripping. I was so fucking excited. I'm sitting there watching. I had people saying, man, you turning on fucking car races? I said, hell yeah, because that's my Savior out there. He's doing the Lord's work. He's spreading the gospel. But, you know, I know we all saw how it ended. But, you know, I wasn't upset. Man, seeing him competitive like that was awesome. He was fired up. That means he's going to do it some more. Hopefully I can actually be there in person next time. And you know what? Hey, no hard feelings. He drove it till it fucking burned to the ground. How sick is that? He's a fucking warrior, man. I love that shit. All right, we'll see you next week.
Thanks for calling, Spurs. Yeah, he ain't lying. Dale Jr. literally, his pants caught on fire. Man had pants catch on fire. It's real. It was real talk. I love the energy, the enthusiasm. Nothing sounds more gross than a Mayo rocket. I do want to just mention that. I know that Hellman's is a big sponsor of Dale Jr. Wish it was hot sauce, kind of like Todd Bodine had with Tabasco. It would definitely fit my taste buds a little bit better. But it's not about me. It's about the people. I'm glad that you got to enjoy your time watching your Lord and Savior Redneck Jesus, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Yee, Spurs, Ted Lasso. Thank you for calling, Spurs. I appreciate you. We're going to move now to another one of our familiar callers. Calls in, good bit. He is from the Discord. The Discord is free, by the way. His name is Super NASCAR Fan Andrew, and he's got something to say. Here he is.
Hello, Super NASCAR Fan Andrew here. I wasn't able to watch much racing this weekend, mainly because of me and working and everything. I know some other callers talked about football. Well, football was why I got to work this weekend. I ended up working the tunnel at the big house, which is really cool, against Bowling Green, and saw Michigan get pretty easy win there. It's Bowling Green, like it's expected that they would do well. Then Sunday, working the Lions game. More heartbreak again. We won the Super Bowl week 1, and then week 2, we just Lions can't figure stuff out. What they do best. Although it seems like they're a new type of Lion this year. The good news, though, is our whole division lost. The Packers, Bears, and Vikings. So hopefully week 2 actually won't matter when it comes to the end of the season, because we all lost in week 2. But we'll see how football goes, and Denny Hamlin had to win and stuff, but I wasn't able to watch the racing and everything. And then I heard Max Verstappen, he did not perform well at all, and it was smooth operator getting the win. Carlos Sainz and Ferrari. I don't know how they didn't mess up pit strategy for once. They actually got a win for Ferrari. That's surprising. But yeah, pretty good weekend, and getting ready to be at Talladega in a couple weeks. I'm excited for that. Talk to you later, Chase. Bye.
Appreciate the call, Super NASCAR fan Andrew. Let me just be the first to say that there was not much motorsports conversation in your voicemail. I understand you had work, to do with the football games, Michigan, Detroit. You are a Lions fan. Lions have not really been known to perform. And I think it's okay for me to take your voicemail and to relay it a little bit more into the terminology of motorsport. If I were to compare the Detroit Lions to any one NASCAR driver this season, it would have to be that of a one Christopher Buescher. Chris Buescher has always been known to suck rod most of the time, but this year things have changed. Some may say that the spirit of the lion, the actual blue, the silver lion, lives in his heart. I could see Chris Buescher being a lion in real life. I feel like if he was reincarnated, he could be a lion, and I think it's a great comparison. Chris Buescher, Detroit Lions, same guy? Time will tell. We have a lot more football left to play. We have a lot more racing left to go. Can they get there? We will find out. But one thing is for sure. Chris Buescher, Detroit Lions, they are one, and that makes Papa Brad Keselowski very proud. Also, just wanted to say, congrats to Carlos Sainz. I know you saw in the winners column that he was there, and it was not Max Verstappen. Crazy. It was wild. I did not watch the F1 race. Did not care to. But congratulations to somebody other than Max Verstappen getting it done in Netflix. Let's move on now to another caller. Let's go to Darian Gilliam from Black Flags Matter. Here's Darian.
What's happening, Chase? It's your boy, Darian Gilliam, a.k.a. Black Flags Matter. Good to be calling the Garage Guys report. I just wanted to say, man, it is just weird. A weird era of NASCAR we're in, just from all the changes with the cars and stuff. And I'm not saying it's bad. It just, compared to just 5 years ago, 3 years ago, it's just so different now. But another, what's crazy about it though, and something I didn't expect, was us looking forward to intermediate tracks rather than short tracks. And that's pretty crazy to think about. Short tracks, they would always provide the best racing and stuff, but man, the past couple of years, I just dread them now. Sort of how I used to dread the 2 road course races when I was younger, but then road courses grew on me. The intermediate tracks provide the best racing, and I feel like you can make the argument that Kansas is the best track on the circuit. Either Kansas or Charlotte at this point. That's why they want the second race at Charlotte back. Could care less about the Roval now. But, with Bristol getting its second concrete race back, it's I don't know, part of me was excited at first, but then as I thought more about it, I'm like, ugh. Man, another short track on the schedule again, or at least back on the schedule in its proper form. But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to call and just talk about that. It just feels weird. I want to hear your thoughts on that. And, I know you're going to show this on the YouTube channel and people in the chat. Tell me what you think. All right. Peace.
Thank you for calling, Darian. Shout out to my boy Darian G. Check out his YouTube channel. It's only one of the largest NASCAR YouTube channels on the block. Appreciate the call, brother. Yeah, that's good stuff. I was excited to hear that they were going back to it because we've had a lot of conversation, right? We've talked about Bristol. I know last year they had a lot of tire issues at Bristol. Not so much of it this year, but there are also people complaining about the race being boring. Look, you can't please everybody. I think if there's one thing we've learned in this world is that you cannot please everyone. There are so many people that grew up watching Bristol one way, and then you had people that may thought Bristol was boring back in the day, and you just didn't know about it because you didn't have social media. All I have to say about it is the race was the race. Denny Hamlin won it. Man was on his job with his antics. But to see this race be off of dirt, I think is going to be for the best. It's going to allow that track to just kind of get back to its normal jam. It's going to be better for everyone. They also put a really sick logo up for the Food City 500. I can't wait for that. That they're using those throwback vibes for it. So obviously that's exciting for me. But I personally think that a lot of people have to understand that it's a specialty track, right? It's definitely, in my opinion, a crown jewel. I don't care if it's a crown jewel, politically speaking, or in the scope of NASCAR and what they deem to be a crown jewel. It's a crown jewel to me. So to see it going back to its normal form is great. Your comment on the intermediate tracks is also very relevant and important because you have to change and adapt over time. And I think that people need to understand that with this new car, the intermediates are working better. We just got out of a generation where intermediate tracks kind of put on some boring shows, allowed drivers to stink it up. It's not the case anymore. We go from short track racing being like the number one jam, and everyone is kind of just still caught up in that fog of that. But nothing is permanent. And what we're seeing is that these tracks are putting on the better shows. Now we're a year in. The tire issues aren't there as much anymore. And we got to look to the future. So if we go to Texas next week and we see this car run well, teams have got it figured out, there's not much tire problems, there's passing, there's battles, I don't mind going back to 2 races at Texas. I don't mind the 2 races at Bristol. You got to go where the getting is good. Okay? And you got to get it while the getting's good. So that's my thoughts on that. Curious to know what y'all think about that in the comments as well. Let me and Darian know. We're going to move on now to Hammonds and the boys. Hammonds from the Discord, he was hanging out with a couple of people that are in the Discord that regularly call into the show this past weekend, and got to chat with some of them. But this was a phone call, I think, that we received after Friday night's race in the Xfinity race. So let's take a listen to what Hammonds and the boys had to say.
Hey, this is Hammonds. I got Matt Dunker. That's no survive from wherever the hell we are at Bristol Motor Speedway, outside of Turn 1. We got S. Brady here too, bro. We got S. Brady. We got Hammonds. We got me. Hey, listen. We got the Buswasser. We are live and well in Tennessee. Here we go. We are feeling good. We were living large, even though Dale Jr. should have had it. Dale Jr. should have won that race. This is going to be a part 1 of part 2 of the weekend, Chase. This is for Xfinity. Tomorrow we got Cups. How we feeling, boys? Denny Hamlin is winning the Cup Series race. Denny Hamlin, P1 tomorrow. I got my talisman. Harvick's winning tomorrow, plus 60. Hey, Chase, we will check in with you in about 12 hours. We'll let you know. We'll call you back. Meanwhile, we're here at a tent sponsored by Jack Daniels. Hey, listen, but hey, my Garage Guys are here. We got the Garage Guys together at Bristol. The Garage Guys got boots on the ground. My T-shirt is gone. Part 1 of 2. Chase, I'll call you back. I love you, Chase. Part 1 of 2.
I love y'all motherfuckers. Hammonds and the boys right there calling in. I don't think I got a part 2 from Hammonds. We do have a call from Matt Dumpster, though, so we're going to check that one out. Love to hear people at a racetrack calling the Garage Guys Report having a good time. There's nothing better than that. The Discord is free, like I tell you all the time, and real friendships are being made through NASCAR, motorsports, and through what we're doing here at Garage Guys. I can't thank you guys enough. Good to hear from S. Brady as well. And unfortunately, as you saw me do, stabbing the talisman in my eyeball, I didn't make a Harvick talisman. I bet on Harvick. I didn't make the talisman. It was a very discouraging run for Kevin. Rodney Childers had some stuff to say about it as well on Front Stretch. Basically they were saying that it was just the worst race ever. Kevin Harvick saying that it was, a very telling, very fitting thing that of 2023, like it's just very fitting for what they've produced at Stewart-Haas Racing, which has not been the best of results. And I saw that being spoke about in an interview with Claire B. Lang, SiriusXM Radio. And since we're doing things differently this week, let's just go ahead and we'll take a listen to what Harvick had to say.
Throughout the night, was there any flashes of brilliance, of speed in your car?
There wasn't a flash of brilliance from the time we took it off the truck.
How do you walk out of here tonight then? What are you thinking?
Glad it's over.
What were you guys missing in this round?
In this round?
I mean, we could have won Darlington. We were off at Kansas and terrible here.
What are you feeling right now emotionally? How this all comes forward?
It is what it is. I mean, that's really about how we ran all year, right? Barely made the playoffs, and it is what it is.
Are you frustrated at being so slow that you guys should have been faster, or understanding that, it's a tough game?
We've been hit or miss all year.
Mm-hmm.
How do you evaluate what these 29 weeks were for this 4-car?
Off and on.
Does it make it easier to enjoy the rest of the season, I guess, now that there's kind of less pressure?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Your last shot at championship is over. It's got to be at least somewhat.
We never had a chance.
Now, if you looked closely at that video, other than what Harvick had to say, you would have saw Ryan Blaney shoving Bob Pockrass out of the way during this interview. Bob was very frazzled. He was a frazzled boy. He didn't really know what was going on. But Ryan Blaney did come back and apologize over Twitter about this incident. Bob saying that he was not aware that he ran into him. And it's like that. I'm telling y'all right now, when you're down there on pit road, it is a madhouse after a race because you got all these reporters, media people. They're just scrambling like fucking eggs in a pan, just trying to just shove a microphone in someone's face like, a porn star and a dildo. That's a great analogy for it. Just hey. Sometimes people don't feel like being bumped into, ran into, and shit be happening. But I thought it was pretty funny, and I wanted to show you guys in case you didn't see it. So there's that. Let's go ahead now and move on to another caller. We're going to go to Cousin Vinny from New Jersey. Haven't heard from Cousin Vinny in a while. I think he called in once, so maybe his second or third time now. Not really sure. But here's Cousin Vinny from New Jersey.
Yo, GG boys, let me tell you, it's your cousin Vinny from up North Jersey. Went through a 12-pack of them cans, and I've been taking care of things with this little stick over here. I just want to tell you that Logano is out. That's a sad day for me as a northerner. But I did kind of like Denny Hamlin's little words at the end there. You beat your favorite driver. All of them. That's your boy. Hate it.
Simple, chill, to the point. Cousin Vinny from New Jersey. Did not know Cousin Vinny was a Joey Logano fan until just now. I figured he'd have been a Truex fan being from New Jersey. But, yeah, he's gone. And I like what you said about Denny. I think a lot of Logano fans are coming around to old Denny Hamlin. I think a lot of just, a little bit more of the rowdy crowd in NASCAR are starting to come around a little bit to our guy Denny Hamlin. And let me say this about Denny, all right, because I haven't talked about it really yet. I think this is a good time to do it. Denny Hamlin is exactly what NASCAR needs right now. Denny Hamlin understands the people. He understands how to get a crowd going. He understands the game. And if you ain't playing it, you don't get it. If you don't like him, then just like he said in his post-race interview, a hater can't stand a winner. This man pulled up a reference from a Cat Williams stand-up. This is my kind of guy. All right, I've really come around to Denny myself this past year, but when he started the race, he came out saying, it was something to the effect of like what I will say, like it me, him, like calling himself him, like just was so nonchalant, non-caring, didn't give a fuck coming into this race. Ended the race, won the race, still the attitude of not giving a fuck. And there's something amazing about that to me because I feel that. There's something about that energy of just knowing who you are and getting out there, getting it done regardless of the show. He's making his own way. He's making his own show. And I just thought it was hilarious. I mean, like, look, here was a clip of him after he got his trophy and the sword in the post-race interview. Just watch this.
Good luck next week at Texas.
Anybody talk shit, come bring it.
That's a man that don't give a flying fuck right there, okay? And I love it. And not to mention, in the NBC video on Instagram, I hit up our boy Jared that's on the Action Detrimental podcast with him. He's kind of like Denny's right-hand man, camera guy, does a lot of his media work for him. And I tagged him, and I'm like, dude, this needs a fucking Gronk Brady Bad Boys for Life style edit. And lo and behold, the man saw my comment, he went out, and he made it happen. Watch this Excite Fest of a reel.
Going nowhere.
I'd be your favorite driver.
And who would that be?
All of them.
That's the kind of energy that NASCAR needs. That's what NASCAR drivers need. And I'm fucking hype about it. So, yeah, you can hate on Denny all you want, but he don't give a shit. Just like when I tell you when I make bets, tail it or don't, I don't care. It is a contagious energy. When you know, you know. So shout out to that man, Denny Hamlin. That's a bad dude. Proud of him. Really am. And Jared, too, for making that real. Shout out to you. Thank you for calling, Cousin Vinny. Glad to see that you're in good spirits, even though Joey Logano was eliminated from the playoffs. He got that Mortal Kombat KO, along with Kevin Harvick, Michael McDowell, and the one that stings the most, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Don't want to talk about it, but it's all right. He tried. We're going to go now to Mr. July Forever and Always, Hunter from Arkansas. You know him as Casey Racem. Here he is.
Hey, man. Once again, it's Casey Racem. Just want to say, had fun again doing the truck race, watching the final stage. Ekis kind of choked it to Corey Heim that day, but I think it's just because I had a full-on beard. I didn't have the mustache power going, but for now on, for every truck race for the rest of the year, we're going to have mustache power. Xfinity had a fun little stream doing the racing rooms for the Xfinity race. Had a few people show up. Always had a fun time. them JRM cars were kind of like ticking time bombs, except for Algar's because he somehow won the dang-dangy. Cup race, I really didn't get to watch it because I was working a football game the whole time. Was working a football game for basically 10 hours on Saturday night. But overall, congrats to Denny. And I'm a Chastain fan, so fuck Denny Hamlin too as well. Chastain survived in advance. Going to be kind of shaky going on to the next round, but I hope we can survive there. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
Appreciate the call, Hunter from Arkansas. Forever and always, Mr. July. I'll say this much, man. I know your feelings at Ross Chastain. You can say fuck Denny Hamlin all you want. That's fine. But you gotta think that Ross could have a shot in this round. He really could. We were talking about it on the podcast. Dale had mentioned, Trackhouse and their speed at intermediates coming out at Auto Club earlier in the year. I don't know if that speed still exists, but what I do know is that I am the holder of a Ross Chastain championship ticket. I would like to see him get there. I think they're going to find a way to maintain, so I wouldn't feel, too rough about it. As far as Christian Eckes goes, I think the one thing we all learned this weekend was that he looks just like Michael Cera from Youth in Revolt. We talked about it on playback. This man could bring a full-on revival for this movie. And if you've never watched this movie, I highly recommend you check it out because Christian Eckes should definitely be Francois for Halloween. So if you're watching this right now and you know Christian Eckes, tell him that Chase said he needs to be Francois for Halloween. All right, spitting image. Look at him. Incredible. Thank you for calling, Hunter. I appreciate it, a.k.a. Casey Braceland. We're going to go now to one of our callers that has called in, kind of been on and off. Maybe back in the running for Caller of the Month for the month of September. Don't know. Let's find out. It's Dale from Michigan.
Hey Chase, how's it going? This is Dale from Michigan. I just wanted to let you know that Denny Hamlin just beat my favorite driver. Well, he did actually. Kyle finished second, but I thought Christopher Bell was maybe the best. But I don't know. I think Denny might be the favorite to win it all this year. I don't know. I feel bad for, Harvick and Logano not making it, but, we'll see how it goes. I watched the Xfinity race also, and Dale Jr. led, I think, 47 laps, and that was pretty exciting. Once a year you get to see that, and him and Trevor Bayne up there. I felt like I was watching a Cup race on the old ESPN Classic from 10 years ago, but he had his leg caught on fire. I was wondering, thought maybe old Kip Richards had something to do with that, always throwing those like animals and stuff in the car. But yeah, that's all. I'm just busy, losing money on college football and stuff like that. But next week, hopefully it's a good race. No question this week. Just hope you have a good one. Bye.
Appreciate the call, Dale from Michigan. First and foremost, I want to say, go easy on the college football. Save your money for NASCAR. You'll have way bigger hits, and you'll be happy. I've been doing baseball bets, MLB baseball bets as well. Okay? Weekly, been churning out little units, trying. We're trying to find something to fill the void between the races. I think baseball is the thing for me. I don't have much luck on football. But, yeah, I don't know if Kip Richards had anything to do with Dale Jr.'s leg catching on fire. Kip's out of the office this week, unfortunately. But I will definitely bring it up to him when I see him again, and we'll talk about it. Yeah, Denny Hamlin, he beat everyone's favorite driver, except if your favorite driver was Denny Hamlin. And I do appreciate the call again. And speaking of favorite drivers being Denny Hamlin, let's go to a Denny Hamlin fan that we know that we did kind of hear from earlier from Hammond's call. Let's go now to Matt Dumpster from the Discord.
Oh, Lordy. This is Matt Dumpster from the Discord calling in live from Bristol Motor Speedway. Denny Hamlin just won this race. This is the first time I've ever seen Denny Hamlin win in person, believe it or not. I just spent $55 on a Denny Hamlin cutout. I have a Dale Sr. one at home, but I'll send a picture if that gets on, great. But it's me and Hammonds here live from the Busweiser.
I'm happy for Matt, but
oh my God.
I could have a better night for sure. I could have had a better night. I had Gibbs, I had Briscoe, and I have Happy Harvick. He did not show up tonight, but it's all right. We're here for Denny.
I had Reddick.
And we're here for Matt. This is Matt's night.
I did not bet on Denny tonight. I'm kicking myself, but I don't care. This is incredible.
I was hoping this call would be a lot more hype than last night's call as a part 2, but it is what it is. We're hanging out in Bristol. We're having a good time.
So I do have a special message for my friends First Head Lasso. You can send this to your daddy. Tell him that Denny Hamlin might not know how to do a good handshake, but he sure does know how to win the Bristol night race.
Hell yeah.
God bless. Number 11. This is Denny's year. Hammonds, anything else?
Yeah, it's Denny's year. I think he has a strong shot. But now Truex got in the playoffs now. He creeps in at the last minute, so it could be Truex versus Hamlin.
Oh, what a finish in the playoffs.
Could be Truex versus Hamlin. Hey, but fuck Logano.
Thank God Joe Logano wrecked out. Sorry, Trevor. Not really. But Denny Hamlin, this is it. This is Matt Dumpster signing off from the Busweiser.
This is Hammond signing off from the Budweiser.
God bless Denny Hamlin. God bless NASCAR.
God bless the USA.
This is the best frickin' sport in the world. All the friends we got together, this is unbelievable. I'll see you in Talladega in 2 weeks, everyone.
Hell yeah.
See ya.
Love the energy from that call. Matt Dumpster from the Discord right there. Thanks for calling, Matt. Yeah, so I guess we kind of did get the part 2 from Hammond's call, but it was on Matt's line. And it pains me. I'm happy, for you as a fan of Denny Hamlin, but it pains me because I feel your pain all too well. If you are a subscriber of the Garage Guys NASCAR podcast, you may have heard me say this last week on the show, and I had to just make this video showing what happens when you don't trust your instincts. So take a look. Denny hasn't won here in the next gen era, obviously. For some reason that just kind of intrigues me. Denny, I've never bet on Denny at Bristol. We've had Larson, we've had Reddick win in this round. Narrative wise, storybook wise, for some reason he's making sense to me in my head right now, and I can't really give an exact reason. That's just more of the opening up the universal antenna.
Oh, somebody kill me, please!
Yep, that happened. It sucks. It burns. It burns harder whenever you watch a driver win, and then you literally remember that you said you had a feeling. If you have a feeling, trust it. I do have a feeling this week that Kyle Busch is going to find a way to win this race. So I did bet on Kyle Busch. So let the record show that I bet on Kyle Busch. And maybe when we come back to the report next week, we'll be able to celebrate that one a little bit. But we had a rough night in Bristol, betting-wise. I will say that much. But, yeah, it's so good to hear just, again, the guys being at the track, having a good time, all cultivated up from the Garage fam. It's just an awesome thing. So I appreciate y'all calling in. And like Matt said, if you're going to be in Talladega and you're watching this, get in the Discord, link up with your boys. I want to see as many Garage fam sporting the brand, being out there having a good time as possible. So thanks so much for calling. Let's go now to a new caller whom I have never seen before. His name is Slide Job Sal from New Jersey.
Chase Holden, the Garage Guys Report. Listen here, this is Slide Job Sal calling you live and in action from Central New Jersey. Let me tell you something. Martin Truex Jr. is the babe in swaddling cloth lying in a manger. He is the savior of these NASCAR playoffs. He is tied for first place, back in action, tied up with William Byron. I just can't imagine coming from getting almost lapped by your teammate to back in first place in the next round of the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. This boy is going to run right to the Final Four, and I'll tell you what, if he makes it to Arizona, if he makes it to Phoenix, that young man, that old man, that gray in the beard, silver fox-looking sexy guy is going to be right in victory lane, and you heard it here first. Listen, you'll have a fantastic evening. You ever need anything from the Slide Job, you let me know.
I love that energy right there. You know, I don't really consider myself a Martin Truex Jr. fan unless I'm betting on him. But I will say, you got some energy for your boy. Maybe he will. He did. I mean, by the skin of his teeth. Man saved himself. That had to be a team strategy call. I'll say that. Because Denny was flying. And Martin was trying. So, wild stuff there. Who knows? Maybe you'll see your guy get there. I know you believe. Keep on believing. Keep on calling, Slide Job Sal. I love that energy. Want to hear from you next week. Let's continue the New Jersey love. We had 3 callers from New Jersey this weekend. This is David from New Jersey.
My name is David Morales. I'm from New Jersey, and my thoughts for this NASCAR's Bristol race. Carson Hocevar did an amazing job, in that legacy car, and he finished 11th. Now, I'm now questioning Noah Gragson's talent in a Cup car. We know and we've seen that he's very talented in an Xfinity car, but I don't think he has figured out the next gen as fast as Carson Hocevar did. I mean, he finished 11th, and all of his past finishes have been way better than Noah Gragson. Now, with Noah not having a ride, that makes me think that either Noah definitely is not going to the Cup Series anymore. He is definitely going to go either to a Truck Series team or a not so good Xfinity team, because, I mean, look at what Hocevar is doing in that 42 car. And it sucks that that Hocevar hasn't announced anything for Cup next year. But if he does, he needs to get that 77 at Spire. And, that's my thoughts. Noah Gragson, maybe Legacy and Gragson weren't connecting because I saw an interview saying that Hocevar, he said that all of the guys, were in the vibe with him. They were in the same, state of mind. And they were all motivated to do a good job. I don't know if that's the same thing with Gragson. I don't know if Gragson had some sort of beef with Legacy or his team, but hey, I'm telling you, Hocevar needs a Cup Series ride for next year.
Appreciate the call, David from New Jersey. A lot to unpack in that one, kind of focused around the Noah Gragson news. In case you haven't heard, Noah Gragson has been reinstated. Noah Gragson can race in NASCAR, so he's been reinstated after the incident that happened, if you want to call it that. Regardless what it was, it was definitely not the best way to have to be exited from your team. As far as your comments on the vibe between Noah and Legacy and Hocevar and Legacy, I will definitely say that I never really saw Noah Gragson as a good fit with that team, especially with Jimmy Johnson and leadership. I know Noah. I know his personality. I've been around Jimmy Johnson. The vibe that I get from him is definitely different than Noah. I feel like Noah is a character. Noah needs to be somewhere where he's allowed to kind of be a little more free and cut up and have some fun and do some things that are a little bit more, I guess it wouldn't really be accepted from a team that's trying to really cultivate the energy of that of an F1 team in NASCAR. That's my personal opinion. But, I saw a tweet that came out. Basically, someone was speculating that he might go to RCR. Now, I don't know if we're going to see him go to Cup by any means. But that does intrigue me with the RCR thing, because we all know Sheldon Creed hasn't been running as well as he should, hasn't really been able to carve off those wins. And it kind of leaves you to wonder, could we see a shakeup out of that 2 car? And could Gregson possibly land in that 2 car? I don't think Austin Hill is really going anywhere. He's been performing well. I don't think Kyle Busch is getting out of that 8 car next year. And I definitely don't think Austin Dillon is getting out of the 3 car. So could be something to look at, maybe, the RCR thing. Maybe, possibly, potentially. With Carson Hocevar, though, I know that there have been comments made by Jimmy Johnson saying that he believes Hocevar should go from trucks to Cup. Where that may be, don't really know, can't really say. But we'll find out, because we know John Hunter is going to the 42. Definitely fits that Jimmy Johnson mold, a little bit more clean, polished, tapered. Eric Jones is kind of like a puppet, like a sock puppet. You can kind of dress him up how you want. Don't take that the wrong way, Eric Jones. But interesting stuff regardless. Appreciate the call, David from New Jersey. And let me know what y'all think about that as well. Every one of these voicemails, how we're dicing this up this week, I'm enjoying it. So get in the comments. Talk to me. Let's go now to maybe another new caller, Dalton from Miami, Florida. Here's Dalton.
This is Dalton from Miami, Florida. I just feel the need to say that I'm tired of people saying that Denny Hamlin is the best NASCAR driver to never win a championship. Clearly, they're forgetting about one individual. Kip Richards is a NASCAR competitor who never won a championship and arguably better than Denny Hamlin. Just had to put that out there. Thank you. Enjoy.
Dalton, my man. I can't say I disagree with you there. And I hate that Kip is not on the show this week, but like I said earlier to Dale, I'm definitely going to relay that message to our good pal Kip Richards and see if he has anything to say about that, Dalton. So be on the lookout. Maybe you'll get a special message from our guy Kip Richards at some point, either through the week or next week. I'll relay it to him. But Denny is good. You could say that about Mark Martin. You could say it about Dale Jr. You could say it about a lot of different people. But we'll see what happens and what unfolds. But Kip's definitely going to like that one. Thank you, Dalton. We're going to go ahead now and get to our last voicemail of the week from B. Hizzy, calling in from Charlotte. A female, a NAS girl. We got one. It's great. B. Hizzy's called in before. She's called in again. And let's hear what she had to say about this past weekend. Here's B. Hizzy.
Hey, Chase. It's B. Hizzy in Charlotte. So I'll just go ahead and say I'm sick of the Denny Hamlin show. You know you've made it in life when someone throws a whole giant cucumber down on the track at you. And honestly, I'm more mad at the person that wasted the cucumber. Like, that could have been some dank-ass pickles. But no, wasted on Denny Hamlin. He is the new Kyle Busch. I said what I said.
Thank you for calling, B. Hizzy. I don't know if a lot of you saw this past weekend, but a cucumber made its way on to the racetrack at Bristol Motor Speedway. And I think it's a great time to dive into this, brought up by B. Hizzy here on the Garage Guys Report. This is something I've been looking into before B. Hizzy called. And when I heard this voicemail, I knew that it was time to dive in to a Garage Guys Report. Investigative report. Who threw the cucumber? We need to find this out immediately, and it's something that I've been looking into all weekend. Why was the cucumber thrown? And how did the cucumber get in to Bristol Motor Speedway? Now look, it's no surprise that fans can do some outlandish and wild things from time to time. I mean, hell, take a look here at the Buffalo Bills game. Anytime Tom Brady came to play, the Bills fans love throwing dildos onto the field.
Dildo on the field. Dildo on the field. Oh my God.
Do we really know why these fans like to throw these penis-shaped objects at people that are really good at their jobs? No. Should we compare Tom Brady to Denny Hamlin? No. But it still doesn't answer the question. What made someone think to get a cucumber and bring it to this track? Did they know Denny was going to win? Did they plan to throw it at whoever won the race regardless? The only things I can think of are this. Either A, someone had inside information and knew that Denny Hamlin would win this race and thought it would be a perfect opportunity to try to hit him in the head with an object shaped of that of a penis, but didn't have enough money to afford a dildo or didn't want to get a dildo. Some people are weird about going into sex shops. Who am I to judge? But it's very simple when you can go to the local Walmart or grocery store, primarily maybe a Food City, because, you know, Bristol is sponsored by Food City. It's just easier to grab produce shaped like a penis than actually buy a product that was molded of that of a penis. This basically is just a diss. That's all it is. But it still doesn't answer our questions. So what do we know? This is what we know. The moment Denny Hamlin got out of his race car, there were fans standing right there at the fence as Denny went to get the flag. One of these people are the suspect. Now, who could it have been out of this group? It's very hard to tell. Their faces are blurry as shit. NBC cameras have not figured out how to show fans' faces off in a great way. Not like they need to, but in this situation, it would have been very helpful. Now, we see here that the cucumber is rolling down the track. This is the first video that we knew that a cucumber was thrown. Who recorded this video? We don't really know, but it's from the side of where a cucumber would have been. I think it was a random fan that did this. I'm not really sure. Maybe it was the person that threw the cucumber. But all that's known is that this cucumber was picked up by a track worker and has been placed inside of the freezer of one of the refrigeration units at Bristol Motor Speedway. Why would you want to keep this unless you were planning on possibly making it a trophy? NASCAR Chasm perfectly displayed what this might look like in the future if the cucumber does replace the sword, which I don't think would be a bad move whatsoever. It just depends on how many people would want to hold a giant oversized vegetable shaped of that of a penis. I hope you enjoyed everything that you saw here on episode 17 of the Garage Guys Report. Thanks so much to the Garage Guys Report hotline callers this week. If you want to be one of those callers, don't forget just to call the number 919-769-4477 after each race every weekend ever. Okay, it's the Garage Guys Report, Motorsport News for You. I'm Chase Holden. Follow me at Garage Guy Chase. Follow the Garage Guys everywhere on social media. And be ready for next week's show as we head to Texas in the NASCAR Cup Series. We're going to unpack it all again next week on the Garage Guys Report. Motorsport News for You. I'll see you later. Goodbye. I'm leaving.
1, 2, 3, 4. Garage Guys Report. Garage Guys Report. It's the Garage Guys Report. Motorsports News for You. It's the Garage Guys Report. It's the Garage Guys Report. Yeah. It's the Garage Guys Report. Yeah. It's Motorsports News for You. Yeah. It's the Garage Guys Report.